Yo, what's up, everybody? Just got back from the memorial ride out there at Johnny K's for all the riders that we lost this year. Because God knows there was too many, that's for sure. Everybody does know how to ride on these streets, man. We got people in cars pulling out in front of bikers, and again, the bikers need to slow down. I know how it is, man. Everybody's flying around out there, and it's hard for vehicles to judge your distance when we're doing like 120, man. So I guess we keep it on the highway or on some open, clear roads, guys. All right, for my buddy Sherman, I met my buddy Sherman through my buddy Dimitri. Awesome cat. Got him a Civic Type R out there. Love my Hondas. But yeah, he didn't go with us on a few rides because his Suzuki Katana, all types of problems. It was leaking gas real bad out of the petcock. The carburetors are all dirty. We got sealant stuff. Oh, never use sealant or anything like that, guys. Just buy the O-ring or whatever you need for something. So I got to clean these all up, pulling them out right now. Got the air box off and all that, getting it disassembled. Also for the valve cover, FUBARD bolt and gasket right there. It's leaking all over. I got one from a Honda Civic car, and actually a Acura Integra B series valve cover that'd fit perfect on there. But yeah, back tire's bald, but I told him he already knows I don't do back tires here. For what I'd have to charge my clients slash friends, I'd have to charge $20 more in a shop. They got a spoon, they got the machines. All I got spoons. Don't have me wrestle with it. So yeah, get him right with the tires. But let's get this thing running really good for him and all cleaned up, and normal maintenance stuff like that. Air filter, we'll change air filter and oil. Just make sure this bike's running tip top. Then we'll start slapping this thing together for him and clean it up. Alright, stay tuned, yo. Alright, pulled the plugs out. This is according to cylinders in the row. Obviously, they've been running rich because the only way he said it would run is with the choke on. So he's been running with the choke on to get it over here. So I figured they'd be all carboned up. But as for the carbs, I got all bored and ended up pulling bowls off and cleaned all up. Didn't get a filament of it. But I am going to be taking them back apart. The kit hasn't arrived yet. So once the kit arrives, I'm going to be ripping those back apart again. They're already cleaned out pretty good. And get that all installed. I just found a nice washer, a recessed domed washer for that. Seemed to do pretty good. And new grips on it already now. So, yeah. Going up to Honda on the Edge, grabbing some oil for it.
Oh yeah, we got some dark molasses coming out of there. It was in desperate need of an oil change, I tell you that. My lord.
Alright, picked up our buddy Sherman a high flow filter for the Suzuki. Good old Honda oil to make her run right. And the original filter, I'm pretty damn sure, all rusted up. Man, that filter has never been changed. That thing was on there, had a death grip on it, had to do the flathead screwdriver method and stab her in there. But yeah, about to fill her up right now. Got the new filter on there. She's up in there. New filter up in there. Also, the petcock. Got the new petcock all on there. New seal. So it should be good. Just waiting for the carburetor rebuild kits. They should be here later today around 4 o'clock. I'll have these ripped off here in a little bit. Start pulling the bowls out and pull the jets out and get ready to slap the new stuff in and put the tank on. Hopefully she'll fire back up, run pretty good. I'll go up and down the road and we'll tune her from there. Also, the air box, the filter was disgusting in it, rusted up too, and it looked so restrictive. And I mean, I figured our boy Sherman, he ain't gonna be taking this thing to California or nothing. So I pulled all of this off and I just put mesh screen in there and I fastened it around. There's a good little like velocity tube thingy in there, all bent and stuff. So I slapped that in there. She is never coming apart. But with this, he might have to take it off and just clean out any bugs or anything like that. But like I said, nothing big's going to be getting in the carburetors. Plus to give it a lot more breathing air. And then I can bump the jets up a little bit more and dial the needles with it. All right, here we go, y'all.
Suzuki Katana.
We got the carburetor kit showed up. And my buddy on Facebook, Andrew, owns Two Stroke of Norwalk. He said they always get extra ones. Well, boy, do I always have extra. I don't know who's rebuilding carburetors without having extra pilot jets and main jets and all that. But the kits, really, he's right. I mean, but you need the O-ring. You always need the O-ring. It always seems like they're specific to the carburetor. You got a lot of things. Now, here's another thing when you order these cheap carburetor kits, though. Some of the parts don't fit. Okay, the Honda CX500 that I did for my buddy Dom, everything was good. I changed the jets on it, pilot jets, they all fit. Diaphragm didn't fit, and the float needle didn't fit. The float needle was totally oddball. That's what you get when you order them cheap ones. Again, you get the $10, $15 carburetor kit from China, might not be everything fitting. Now, if you go ahead and get you a $70 carburetor kit, chances are everything's going to fit, but you're going to pay. Now, I have extra stuff laying around everywhere, so that is not an issue. Usually when I got everything laying around. Problem is trying to find it. Now, for the float jets on my buddy's CX500, I couldn't find them. I know I got them laying around, brand new ones laying around, couldn't find them. I didn't have it leaking. Just the other day it started leaking on them, so I got to run over there today, pull those out. I'm going to swap them out. These ones, actually, these Suzuki ones are the exact ones the Honda CX500 needs. That one right there. The ones that I had a big space in between them, but yeah, it wasn't going to work. But yeah, this would actually work. So if I can, these carburetors look pretty damn good. Look at these bowls, people. I pulled that bowl off. That is how a bowl should look there, folks. So yeah, all I'm really going to be doing is a lot of tuning, it seems like, on this. Now that I got the air box open, I'm going to give him a good tune, which then comes into play with main jets and all that. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing all dialed up. I already sprayed carb cleaner through the ports, the main jets and all that, but honest to God, I doubt it even needed it. So I'm going to change out the float needles, little float needles right here, because I don't want another problem like my buddy Dom's having with the CX500. So I'm changing those out, changing out the mains, just because I got them. We're going to put them in there, see how it runs. I do have some bigger ones laying around. And yeah, just go ahead and tune it, vacuum tune it accordingly. So, all right, guys, here we go, getting to work on this. Should be on the road here in a bit. Guys, back out here again with the Suzuki Katana. Finally got the carburetor kit that showed up. Now, my buddy Andrew on Facebook owns Two Stroke in Norwalk. He said, don't be wasting your money on carburetor kits. Just grab the main jets and all that. But the thing is, I'm always needing them carburetor bowl gaskets right here. The seal, always needing those. And yeah, he's kind of right. But the thing is, like things like the float jets. Okay, the float jet right there. My buddy Dom, for this Honda CX500 that I was working on, the carburetor kit from China, this is the thing, when you order them $15, $20 carburetor kits, everything might not fit with those. That's it, buy the $70, $80 carburetor kits if you want everything to kind of fit good. So I get the cheap ones and everything, and the float needle didn't fit. It was totally different, but it wasn't leaking or nothing like that. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I put it all back together. Wasn't leaking. I changed his main jets and everything like that, pilot jets, bowl gaskets, everything like that on it, and I wasn't having no problem. Well, just the other day, his float needle started sticking open. So I got to run back over there and change that out. I always have float needles and all that. I always have spare stuff, brake pads, extra gaskets, brake pads that are common for a lot of things like that when I go to places. Whole assortment of jets and main jets and all that. But I couldn't find the float needle for the CX500. But the thing is, these Suzukis fit perfect. That's the style I need for my buddy CX500. So I'm going to change all these out because I don't want another problem like what I'm having with my buddy Dom. I'm going to change all those out, all the floats. We're going to change the mains. And again, I got to tune accordingly. Now, they give you stock mains. That's the problem. Like my buddy Andrew said, you're going to be tuning around that anyway. So when you buy a carb kit, chances are you're not going to be using the main, especially if you're doing air box stuff like I did. So we're giving them more air. You're going to have to get more fuel. And you're going to have to be moving the needles up and down. There's a needle that rides in here. So you're going to have to tune accordingly. But yeah, when you get them kits, sometimes things don't fit, you know, when you're buying a $15 kit. But that, again, that's why I got a whole bunch of spare stuff, because you never know what you're going to start digging into them. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these changed out, vacuum tune it and all that, go up and down the road, pull plugs. I mean, this is the part of it. You got to pull all the plugs out. I got them all cleaned up. Well, new plugs in there right now. So I got to check the color of them as I go up and down the road, and I'll tune according to that. I don't have no AFR gauge or no shit like that. I just look at plugs, and you can get a pretty good reading off of that on each cylinder too. So, all right, I'm going to start throwing this together, and it should be on the road today. All right, guys, just got done putting this 98 Suzuki Katana all back together. Got the carbs cleaned out. Everything's looking pretty good on there. New petcock. Had a two-way feed line. Had to cap it off. And vacuum line, the vacuum tube. It looked all brittle and looked like it was corroding apart. Put a new one of those on. Just fired it up a little bit for my buddy. So yeah, she wanted to see some videos. Do the boot method here. There we go. No choke. He was riding around before with the choke on. Let's let it warm up a little bit. But yeah, everything seems to be alright. I gotta go up and down the road. Give me a couple braps up and down the drag strip. See how she feels, then I'll rip it all back apart. We'll check the plugs, see how each carburetor's running, and if I have to, I'll change the main jets in it. Sounds good, looks good. I'd like to see a little black smoke. I like to have them a little bit on the rich side. So yeah, we're gonna take it for a cruise. And yeah, I'll probably bump the jets up a little bit, the mains. But idle jets seem pretty good. The pilots seem real good right now. No choke on it. The idle adjuster's broke. The idle adjuster, I was twisting that thing, wasn't doing nothing, so I had to manually do it. Yeah, everything seems to be alright. That's oil from me spilling oil all over the place. Nothing's dripping just yet. Oh yeah, she sounds crispy. She sounds good. Alright y'all, taking her down the road. Alright, so I pulled the plugs. They all looked good. They're burning good except that one. It was a little on the lean side, and I was like, what the hell's going on? I checked it out, I cleaned it out again. But I want to do another check. So what I did is, all right, there's no gas tank. I barely have enough fuel in here. Let's see if we can get it started. Let me do the foot trick. All right, did you see that? This plunger isn't moving up and down. So the diaphragm, I'm about to pop this open and take a look at the diaphragm. I think we might have something wrong up there. It feels real weak too. If you look, take it. Should have some type like a vacuum resistance. That's way too easy. These ones, they're all right. So I got to rip this one apart and see what we're looking at. So I popped it off and it was pinched right there. So that might have been the culprit of why he said it's been running a little funny, because it ran good, but I went down the road and I figured it needed a little something else in it. So yeah, I'm going to get this all sealed up as best I can. Again, I'm going to try to get this to seat in there. It's all right. It wasn't seated. EP3 Civic. But yeah, this wasn't sealed all the way, so I'm going to try to get it to close up without ordering another one and see what would come of it. Alright, just got her put back together. Looks like she's sealed pretty good. Let's see what happens. Nice. Looking way better. Alright, time to put it all back together, tank back on, seat back on, go down the road and test her again. Got busy bouncing around fixing other stuff, but finally got the Katana all done. As you've seen in probably the last clip, the diaphragm, the constant velocity diaphragm, was pinched a little bit on the cylinder. Straightened that up, cleaned the jets out, did some tinkering and adjusting on it. The thing is a freaking rocket now. Runs great, idles great, pulls very hard. So yeah, just need to get, he has the plastics and the fairings for it. Just need to get that all put on and he'll be set, ready to ride. Seeing this thing's missing one of the Allen keys. I'm gonna see if I got one laying around, but yeah, slap it all back together and it should be good. Gave it a nice clean bath. Look at them wheels now. Them things were nasty with brake dust on them. Got it looking real good. So yeah, he's ready to hit the road with us. All right, see ya. Just adjusted my son's clutch on it. Yeah, because we're going to be heading down to Sparta, Tennessee. August 9th, I think. Thursday, August 9th, I think. Thursday, I know that. But yeah, we're taking the bikes down there to Sparta, Tennessee to see my legendary grandparents. And of course, we got to take the old iron head. Still runs like a champ. Dogging the hell out that thing every day. Alright guys, thank you for stopping at the channel. Love each and every one of you. Take care now.